What do you actually do?
Well, I'm very hard working, so I do a lot. I train people predominantly in public speaking and property. So I teach people to go from beginners in property to building their own portfolios, building generational wealth and raising finance. And then the other side of it, which is probably the part I'm most passionate about, is helping people to become better public speakers, but also understand that public speaking isn't just public speaking, that every single person in this world has a story inside of them. And I think, oh, maybe I do have a vision. Maybe that is my goal now, is to tell everyone to get their story out, because everyone's got one, no matter how small or big. We compare our lives to other people. So I help people get their stories out there to the world, and the ripple effect that I'm starting by me helping one person get their story out, which touches the lives of a million other people, which then carries on and carries on. So that's success to me right now. But if you'd have asked me when I first started building the business, success was managing...
Paying your bills, right? You said
paying the bills, managing to fit in everything in a day. I was working in a really stressful environment in retail and HR, working evenings, weekends, overnights, whatever it took. Investing in property, going to property networking events, raising 2 very young children at that point. When we first started investing, Oliver was 1, Owen was 3.5. Chris was in a really stressful job, Monday to Friday, but like 12 hours a day most days, trying to fit in, learning to be a property investor, learning to be a public speaker. So success was keeping a roof over our head, keeping food on the table, and keeping sane. That was success. And then once you get over that, you move to the next one. And because you keep moving the flagpole in the sand, then success changes bit by bit. It's kind of come full circle. Success used to be, I used to think that success was, a nice house, a nice car, enough money to do what you want. But that's kind of materialistic wealth, and I don't think that makes you really happy. I think that's the byproduct of whatever it is that makes you happy, and helping other people is definitely up there for me.
You mentioned earlier that the careers advisor made a little comment, and that little comment was enough to plant a seed of doubt in your head to not follow through with not a dream, but a goal that you had about becoming a physio. When obviously you met Chris and you had the 2 boys, and you were in those early phases of your career as a property investor, and things were tough. I've heard you say on stage where like you haven't beaten on toast for dinner every day and you were struggling financially. Did you doubt yourself?
Oh, every day.
How come, as when you were a teenager, the careers advisor made you switch paths? Why did you stick at it?
I think because I was probably young and didn't really, really want to be, it was the what do you want to be? Physiotherapist was the thing that I thought I wanted to be. But I don't think that there was no need to succeed there. And I always talk about how I had this conversation with someone earlier on this morning, went to meet with they are both friends and investors. And we were having a conversation about how quite often we're driven by a need to succeed rather than just, I want to be successful. It's actually spite that drives me. And I think when people tell me I can't or I shouldn't, it might have stemmed from that. It might have stemmed from being told I could do this, because I actually did really well at my exams, and I didn't try hard. That's the honest answer is, me and my sister, she used to always say to me, like, you just sail through life. It's just not fair. Because we used to share a bedroom. My mum would come into our room and she'd be like, are you studying for your exams? Yeah. Keely's there, literally studying for her exams. And I've got this science book, but inside of it is like a More magazine, and I'm looking at position of the fork. Right. And, I'd cram at the end.
Can you have afforded like heat with your £20?
I used to read heat as well.
With your £20 pocket money.
£20 pocket money at that age. It was probably about a tenner.
Scaling. About a tenner. Scale, I see.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if I really want something, I'll work hard at it. But also if I say out loud that I'm going to do something, I still am fueled by a need to be liked and loved. And if I say something, I'm going to do something, I'm going to do something. So there's also that I won't have anyone tell me you said you were going to do this and you couldn't. And I think because we committed to it, and also we put so much into it. I think when you're so far down the line, you've put all this time and effort in. We paid for training courses that we genuinely couldn't have afforded. Spending time with my kids was massively important to me. And here I was spending, 4 days away for a property training, and every day off, the guilt drove me there. I've put this much into it. Shit or bust now. We do it all or not at all. And there was no way I was ever going to back down. And there have been plenty of times I've doubted myself. I still do. Still doubt myself.
Still do?
Yeah, God,
In what aspect?
I think everything new that I try, there is always an element of doubt. You know, what if I can't do it? What if I shouldn't do it? But that's a fleeting conversation in your head where you kind of have a word with yourself and go, look at everything you have done. Yeah, of course you can. And
the cookie jar of things that you've done. I think David Goggins talks about cookie jar, where it's like when he's in a place where he may doubt himself, dig his hand. Well, I've done that before. I've done that, and you remind yourself, of just how much of a badass you are.
You have to look back at how far you've come. And I've got too many fuckers to prove wrong. Am I allowed to swear on your podcast?
You can, Toni Gargan. Are you allowed to swear? If I said no, you'd carry on doing it anyway.
Absolutely. I'd probably do it more.
So what drives you? You've got a quote for this, and I love the quote. I want to hear all about the quote. So I know what drives you.
Well, my quote is that I'm 99% driven by a desire to succeed and 1% by spite. That's me. Those figures are completely out of kilter. I reckon, right, it depends what day you ask me as well. It depends what day you ask me. Today I've been talking about someone who's really pissed me off. So I reckon it's 50-50 today. But sometimes
just to
if
rub
you
it in
ask
that
me,
person's face.
Yeah.
But what if that person doesn't even know?
I don't give a fuck if they know. I know.
You know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I think, I am definitely, the figure changes, but I'm always at least, a small proportion driven by everyone who's told me I can't and I shouldn't. Or even not just people who've told you, people who make assumptions, whether it's the demographic that you are, if someone tells me a woman can't do it, I'm like, fucking watch me go, or she's from there, or judgment. I can't bear. I hate anything that's unjust, unfair, or kind of people. You talked earlier on about believing in people. It's something that I've had to work on. One thing that I will always do is if I see something in someone else, I will tell them, because if you haven't got enough belief, you need to borrow it from other people. And so I gift my belief out on a regular basis. And I think I've had people who've done that for me, whether that be people in, friends, family members, my parents. I am from that kind of generation where it was like, you can do anything that you want to do, but you've got to do it within these constraints, work hard, go to school, get a good job, go to university because it's expected of you, and then the world's your oyster. And I think I'm just trying to take that to the next level now with my kids, because I don't want them to be within those constraints. You can literally be and have whatever you want to be. And if anyone tells you you can't, go fucking prove them wrong.
I love that.
Oh, I'm very fueled by spite, aren't I?
No, I it doesn't matter. As long as you get over the finish line, doesn't matter what drives you.
Yep.
If you want to be the best, or if you want to rub in somebody's face, as long as you achieve and succeed, doesn't matter. You're a big book girl, aren't you?
Yeah.
You've recommended lots of books to me.
Oh God, I recommend so many books.
What books have you taken most inspiration from? And also, second question, how different are you to, you recently just had your 30th birthday?
Yeah, I'm 39 plus this is what my, so for those who can't see, I got a lovely gift from my kids, which is 39 plus middle finger. That's my current age. Yeah, I've just turned 40. God, I'm old.
How different are you from the 20-year-old?
Oh, hugely.
In what respect?
I've grown up a lot because...
I love to see the 20-year-old version of you. One around the nappy still.
No, I've grown up a lot because life's made me grow up. When I was 20, I had zero fucks to give. I was working really hard. I was... As a HR. Yep. And I had a point to prove there because I was always the only female in an all-male team. And I was, I was a 21-year-old senior manager, and there used to be a lot of I want to speak to your manager, and I'm like, that's me. And that
really?
look up and down, that really,
imagine.
it's you. So I think I've always had a point to prove there. And I had what I now know was my first mentor, but I didn't know he was my first mentor. He was the general manager when I worked in Cheshire. His name's Danny. And my God, he showed me kind of the ropes on how to do it. He taught me how to deal with people who didn't believe in me. He massively believed in me, but he made it fun. And so I really enjoyed it. So I was very kind of driven doing the job that I was doing. I wanted the nice things in life because we did grow up in a kind of, if you look at it on the grand scheme of things, it was a very poor household, but it was high and low. So it was quite cyclical and there'd be lots of money because Dad'd be working loads, and there was loads of plaster and work out there, and my brothers were bringing in work and bringing in money, and then sometimes there just wasn't really anything. And I think I wanted steadiness, and I wanted security, and I wanted a good job, and I wanted to achieve a lot, but I also wanted the complete different life to the one I've got now. I always said I'd never get married. I always said I'd never have kids. I was too selfish for
Really?
it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that was kind of my, I want the next best car. I want a nice new house, and I wanted freedom. I wanted to live a happy life. I've always, and I've always wanted to enjoy life, and I do. I have loads of fun. That's something that's way up there on my, values list.
I've been there. I've been on your courses where I've told you this before. Like we did the 5-day public speaker one a few months ago, and it was the most fun I've had in such a long time, and I learned loads.
Yeah.
You make learning really fun. You and Robert did an amazing job, and like you guys have the best time.
We literally get paid to have fun, but
also change people's lives as well.
How cool is that? That's literally when people say like, "What do you want to do?" I'm like, I'm there. I'm all right with that. I earn a lot of money doing what I'm doing, but I get to change lives. I get to have so much fun. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't be doing it. And I think I've spent so long doing things because I needed to. I earned a really good salary in the job that I was in, but you had to do the hard work to get the good money. And, you needed to, there was always a point to prove. And there was always someone who was telling you can't or you shouldn't. And I was a bit shit with authority, to be honest. So I used to break the rules a little bit or bend them or kind of find a little workaround. And very much that doesn't matter how you get there. Once you got the good result, no one's asked how you got there. They just want the good result. And then I used to give the results to other people so they could take recognition. There was a general manager who was just a bit of an arsehole. And so I used to do stuff to make him look good and then go, look at how good you'll look if you do this. But really it was for the greater good because I had 300 staff who, they worked better for me because I was supporting them. So I reckon the people pleasing thing I now use to my advantage.
What I love about you, one of the many things I love about you is how you remember everybody's name. And that's a skill that I'm terrible at. And I blame the boxing, but really, if I'm being honest, I don't know what it is. I don't think it's lack of respect. I do respect everybody that I meet, but that's one thing I've learned from you. One of the little add-ons of the many important things you've taught me is to learn everyone's name, make them feel. You make everyone in a room feel special. That's an unbelievable skill to have. And I remember you said once in one of the courses you ran, you said, of the 300 people who you worked at you were HR, was it the supermarket?
Yeah.
You knew everybody. Everyone's name, first name, their partner's name, their kid's name, that is very humbling.